Let's see that. Oh my God, that wind. Oh, it's breezy here. It's very breezy in Lifford. You're very welcome here if you can hear me, and that wind has just picked up in the last few seconds. So I hope you can still hear me. I'm trying to cover my microphone. We're up very high in the platform that they've erected here at the local club at Naomh Padraig for us, but it is very windy. And that is coming right down the pitch from right to left. At the moment, there's only one team out there, and that is Donegal. I'll give you all the changes in a minute. I'm watching over to my left to see where Waterford are. They haven't appeared just yet. They were out, of course, and then they've come back in. But Donegal are out there, and they have two changes to their starting team, and they also have a change in the subs. And I'm now watching down to my right to see Waterford coming out. So we will swing over to see Waterford coming out, and there they are. And you'll instantly recognise the Murrays. There's 4 of them named, but actually there's only 3 of them going to start the game, says he, just checking his notes again to make sure of that. Actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all 4 of them. No, one of them isn't. Katie Murray at midfield is not starting. So 3 Murrays, not 4. And of course, they had the terrible injury to Megan Dunford that means that she's not available at all for the entire year, so they've rearranged their defence. But Waterford are here. Long journey for them from the bottom of the country over in the east corner right up to the northwest here to take on Donegal. But they did it earlier in the year in the league and they won as well, and I make that the only victory by Waterford over Donegal in at least the last 15 years. You'd have to go way back before that. I've checked out all the records, and they've only met 4 times in the last 15 years, and they've all been in the last 3 years. And Donegal have won 3 and Waterford won 1, and that was in the league up here. Can they repeat that again today? That is the story. That is the question, rather. The story remains to be told. Is it Waterford or Donegal getting off on the right foot in the 2023 TG4 All-Ireland Senior Football Championship? So many questions, and it's really hard to predict, because Donegal lost all 7 games in the league, but then they went out and won the Ulster Championship with a sensational performance to shock Armagh and shock everybody else. Can they repeat that? That is the question for them. Whereas Waterford, they've been much steadier. They got 10 points in the league. Now, they never scored really more than 10 points. That was their average in the league, so very low scoring, very tight. So it's a really intriguing battle in so many ways today. But that is the Waterford team there. There's 4 changes for Waterford, by the way. Eva Waring is in, Breed McMaw is in, Eve Power is in, and Laura Mulcahy. I'll give you the details of that in a minute when we look at the actual teams. But first of all, I need our cameraman to swing over from Waterford now to Donegal, because they have 2 changes as well. Leisha Ryan is in and Susie White. Suzanne White wearing number 30, actually, not 28. So she is wearing number 30. That's one of the changes. And also one change in their subs. They have 1 player coming in. You might recognise the name if our cameraman can find her out there. She's out there warming up. We're wearing 29 on that run in now on the right of the screen, going towards the goal, and she's just getting the ball now and putting it in the net. That's another clue, and it is, of course, Geraldine McLaughlin. Has not played all year for Donegal, hasn't played since last year's All-Ireland semi-final, didn't play in the league or the Ulster Championship, and she is the late addition to the subs for Donegal today. Now, let's go into more detail. Let's have a look at the Donegal team on our screens. So, there's Abigail Temple-Asoko, the fullback, in the far shot there as we come a little bit wider, and you see the officials there. We'll now go to the Donegal 15, and there are 2 changes to it that I will give you, so that's not quite correct, but I'll go through it anyway. So Claire Friel in goal. She didn't play in the league, she just came in the championship. Derry City goalkeeper, she's their new keeper from Fanad Gales. Penalty saver in soccer, wonder will she do the same today. She's the new goalkeeper for Donegal there for the championship. In front of her, well, you have the 2 cars down the right side of the defence in the fast lane. It might be Niamh Carr overtaking ABC on the right hand side. In the middle, you have Abigail Temple-Asoko at full back. She was player of the match in the minor final just a few weeks ago that we also covered. At number 6, Shannon McGrody does not start. She's replaced by number 19, Leisha Ryan. And then you have Tara Hegarty at 7, and her sister Niamh is at 13. And of course, Niamh won't play in the corner. She'll come out a bit. And really, We expect a sort of blanket defence thing across there. So Katie Heron at number 14 will probably not start in there as well. You've Susie White has come in at number 30. She'll be wearing 30 and replacing Kira McGarvey wearing 15. That's the other change. And then you have the two young Katies there at 11 and 12 to do a lot of the running. And you have Karen Guthrie named in the subs. I gather she's a bit of an injury doubt, so she may come on at some stage. We will see. She, of course, has been one of the established players who's come back and a main reason why they won the Ulster Championship, but I'm not sure that she's fit to play a full game, so she's named in the subs. But we could have Karen Guthrie and Geraldine McLaughlin back in the 15 before the end of the game. So that is the 15 for Donegal. Let's look now at Waterford, and they have a newish goalkeeper as well, Evelyn O'Brien. It's her debut year. She's had 3 clean sheets in the National League. In front of her, the rearrangement in the defence is Karen McGrath at number 3. She's the captain from Ballymac, of course, and that's all because Megan Dunford is injured, so she's in there. And also Emma Murray at 7. Well, she'll probably play more central, and she'll be in there covering as well for that area. And you've Kate McGrath at number 6. There are 4 changes. Well, Niamh Power at number 5 does not start, and number 8 Katie Murray does not start, and number 12 Cara McCarthy does not start, and number 13 Sheena McGuckian also doesn't start. The 4 who come in: Eva Waring wearing 25, Breed McMaw wearing 26, Eve Power wearing 27, and Laura Mulcahy wearing 28. So those all of the changes for Waterford. 4 for them, 2 for Donegal. And one other thing I didn't tell you about, by the way, Emer Gallagher for Donegal, the number 8, will actually be wearing the number 28 jersey. So she's at midfield wearing 28, but she will start. Now, the wind, as I say, is picked up again. It's just picked up at the wrong time now. At least it's not raining, but it may be causing problems for the microphone. So we're going to try. We have a microphone sock on it, so I hope you're able to hear me okay and not too bad with the wind. But more importantly for the players, it's going very strong from right to left. So the toss will be taken in the next couple of minutes, and we'll see who wins that. That could be important. Now, if we swing over to the middle of the field, we'll see the officials out with their nice TG4 jerseys. They're right in the middle waiting, and the referee is Shane Curley on the right there. Gus Chapman to his left is the 4th official, and then on the line, as I say, Jackie Mulligan, former Sligo player. She is out there on the line today. And over to our right, just ever so slightly, down here, we see the player that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, number 18, Karen Guthrie. And she is just warming up now. She's not getting involved in any of the activity to our right where the players are doing a fairly rigorous backs and forwards kind of a game. She's not involved in that. She's just kicking around on her own, which would lead me to believe that she's not quite right, not quite confident of going totally up to speed. She's just doing a little bit of kicking around with one other player there, so that would indicate that she's not fit enough to start. So she goes over there, and Maxie, the manager, just to her right, that's Maxie Curran, and his brother Brian is in there as well. Maxie's been around, about 5 or 6 years now with Donegal. They've come so close, last year in particular, to the Senior Championship and also to the National League. Both times they were thwarted by Meath, but Meath went on and won both, so they were very, very close. And by the way, Meath are in this group, of course, Group 2, so it's 3 teams in this group: Donegal, Waterford and Meath, and it's a 1 o'clock start. If you need to contact me in any way, you can't do it on where you're watching, but you can message me directly. You can get me on Twitter at Jerome Quinn, or even on Instagram at Jerome Quinn1 if you feel the need to send me a message or ask me something or correct me on something. Feel free to do that. So it's Donegal, relegated from Division 1 after 7 defeats in the league, but won the Ulster Championship. So there's been a big mood change there. Will they carry that momentum into this game? That is the big question. They have home advantage, and as I say, the wind will be important, but it's not just that. It's this tight venue here. It's so different to Letterkenny, and now we have the anthem.
Shanti cheer enough in trial. Anak dahin sa varna bwel legan gel kan bas no sale legan Israel Win lava na bwiller shall live hanik aran na blame.
The anthem beautifully sung here in Donegal, just over the border from County Tyrone, from Strabane in Lifford. And the atmosphere is building, the crowd is building as well, and there's little kids in the background behind me as well getting very excited. They're all from the Killybegs Club. They'll be playing here at half time in their nice bright red jerseys, and they will be joined by kids from Lifford, the home club, and also Burt and from St Eunice. So under 10s and under 12s are going to play at half time. But right now we are tuning up for the start of the game. The Waterford players doing a few late runs, and the Donegal players are in the huddle. One last word. And I'm just watching for the subs going over to the right for Donegal. And I also see Aoife McColgan in there, who was the goalkeeper throughout the league. And she is involved there in some sort of a role, helping out at least in whatever way she can. That would be the spirit of her. And also Karen Guthrie now going towards the bench as well. She's just stretching that left leg a little bit as well. But the team that is out there is the 15 rather, that is going to start this game. So this is the start of the 2023 TG4 All-Ireland Senior Football Championship. The first bit of play in it. There are other games today, but none as early as this. This really is the start of the championship. I'm looking at the hills in the distance here in Donegal. The hills of Donegal greeting the start of the championship. I just wonder, can Donegal or Waterford go all the way and win this? They do say it's wide open this year, more so than maybe 17, 18 years. So they'll all think they have a chance. Donegal, it looks like to me, are playing from left to right, so playing into the strong wind. The goalkeeper, Claire Friel, is heading down to the left. And that's number 28 I see out there as well. Not on your screen at the minute, but yeah, that's number 28, Emer Gallagher, shaking hands with the referee. And number 14 for Donegal, Katie Heron, has indeed gone to midfield, as I anticipated. Number 13, Niamh Hegarty, has gone right to the edge of the square, but the Waterford players haven't gone anywhere near there yet, so we're waiting for that. It will, of course, be a very tactical battle. Both of these teams are well known for playing very defensively and then trying to hit teams on the break. Waterford have a lot of pace, a lot of speed. They're very hard working, and of course they have the Murrays and a few players like that who are very good at transitioning. That's what they'll try to do. They are not expected to score lots, but they might grind you down and they might just edge it. They only average 10 points in the entire National League per game. And Donegal, of course, have been known to play very defensively at times as well, and at times it has been spectacularly successful for them. And then they have forwards like Lauren McGregor, who scored 7-10 this year in 10 games. So watch out for Lauren McGregor at number 15. And they've Annie Fitzgerald at number 11, by the way. And she plays tomorrow in the All-Ireland Camogie Championship away in Limerick. So quite a weekend for her in Donegal and Limerick. 2 big games in 2 days. The wind has just picked up again just as the ball is thrown in. And it's Waterford with Emma Murray, number 7. She's actually scored 10 points, would you believe, this year, all from play, even though she plays very defensively. But as I say, positions don't mean an awful lot in the modern game, and she'll play around that middle. In fact, there she is now taking the ball, and with that wind, I'd say she would fancy herself to add to her tally today. So Waterford, you will see there's 26 there, 28, 27. In fact, they have 25, 26, 27 and 28 all starting. 4 late changes for them. This is number 2, Cora Murray. She is one of the 4 Murray sisters, but not one of the triplets. Anya O'Neill now from Kilrasanti Brickies for Waterford. This is indeed Emma Murray. Thought she'd heard me there. She was going to go for a point, but you see how far forward she has gone, and indeed it has become a tactical battle already, with Donegal sitting extremely deep in there, and number 14, Katie Heron, sitting in there as a sweeper. Free for Waterford. I'm looking off camera up to my right, and indeed Niamh Hegarty is on the edge of the square for Donegal, but she is about 60, 70 yards away from the rest of her team. So it'll be a tough battle for Waterford in this first, or for Donegal rather, in this first half, playing against this very good Waterford team, and also playing into a strong wind that has really just developed in the last 15 minutes or so. So when they met in the championship last year, it was Donegal who prevailed, not 10-1-5. That game played in Birr, and it might give you an indication of what I was saying about low scoring, but Donegal prevailed. Before that, they met in the championship in 2020. Donegal won that one as well in Cusack Park, although the result mattered not at that point. And they met in the league that year, and Donegal won that one. But earlier this year, Waterford beat Donegal comprehensively enough, 2-9-7 in Letterkenny. But this is a very different Donegal team. Waterford patiently building. 25 is Eva Waring involved there. She's looking for it again, doesn't get it, and in fact Donegal have stolen it and they've turned the ball over, and this is McLaughlin, the captain, Niamh McLaughlin, having to carry it, of course, because there is a strong wind and they have to bridge that gap up to Hegarty, and Hegarty has made room here. She wants it, and now she takes it. That's good positioning from her, leaves it off as Donegal try to get the first score of the game, and really young players could watch Niamh Hegarty there and her movement and the way she angled herself, and then when she didn't get it, she took a different angle to get the ball, to link the play there. Now I wouldn't usually put her down as an out and out full forward, but she does seem to be playing that way early on, but she's on her own up there. 12 is Katie Dowds, and she'll come out to Roisin Rogers, to McLaughlin. And Donegal now playing keep ball, and it's Waterford's turn to sit in. Nicole McLaughlin is number 4. This is Niamh Hegarty, lovely ball inside. Tried to get it through the middle there, but it just went a little bit too far. And Waterford now have the chance to turn it over. You see what's happening. One team replicating the other. Little tug on the jersey there from Niamh McLaughlin. She'll get ticked for that, I would imagine, by the referee. In fact, he's taken his book out even as the game is progressing. He doesn't want to forget that. So he played really good advantage there, Shane Curley. This is Murray now for Waterford. And you see, if they don't transition quickly and get a score off, then they end up just slowing it down and playing a little bit of possession football and trying to work an angle. And this is Lauren McGregor. I said she scored a lot, and so far, oh, the keeper had to watch that one. That was a tricky one with the wind, and she did well there, the goalkeeper, and eventually it's fisted over the bar by Anya O'Neill for Waterford for the first score of the game. Could have been more for Waterford if that kick had dropped in, but Claire Friel did well. So Lauren McGregor, a goal a game more or less in the league. 7-10 in 10 games this year. She just dropped it in there, and Anya O'Neill got the score in the end for Waterford. 1-0 to them. Claire Friel coming out of her goals and directing where it's to go. And Emer Gallagher wearing 28 and named at midfield, but playing in a very defensive role. She plays a defensive midfield anyway, but she's sitting in there. And Donegal, very interesting the way they've all got their tails up, they've all got their heads up, they're all directing the play, they're all saying where's to go, which is very different from the league when we saw them in the last game against Mayo when their heads were down. Now their heads are up. They are the Ulster champions, and Niamh Hegarty has taken a bang there for her troubles. She has got a free in though. Now they don't have Karen Guthrie to take this, and it is, well, normally you might fancy it, but with that wind it could be very, very tricky, not just to get the distance but to judge what way it's going, because the wind is coming right down the pitch from that side, from behind those goals. So it's going to take a very good kick to put this over, and Karen Guthrie in full flight, fully fit, you would imagine would put it over. But she's not there, and there are the flags that you see fluttering quite strongly in that breeze, and it's Susie White who's going to take it. Of course, she's right-footed. I think she's going to have to bend this one over. No, she'll just go short. That's maybe a better idea. She gets it back again. She's from Killybegs, the same club who are going to have kids out at half-time, and she goes for a fisted point. It just comes off the post, and Murray in a hurry to get that ball and to try and clear it, but maybe too much of a hurry because she's given it straight to Katie Dowds. As the sun just comes out here, it's got a little bit brighter in the last 10 seconds. And This pitch is in great nick considering all the good weather. I know they actually paid money yesterday to get water on the pitch, and then of course the rain arrived from the heavens last night. It softened the pitch up a little bit, and they were out cutting the grass this morning, so it's in as good a nick as you can imagine or expect. Now, that is going to the left and wide from Hegarty. Oh, actually they're signalling a point. Well, from my angle I thought that was never going over. Let's see it again here. Actually, I don't think we'll really tell conclusively from this, but looked to me like it was swinging to the left, but as I say, it's very hard for me to say. The umpire in the best position, and they'd given it 1 point each, and it was Hegarty. I thought for a moment there we were going to have the first 2 points of the game scored by fisted efforts, one at each end. Came very close to it. That would have been a little bit unusual. One of those ones for the quiz people. If there'd been the first 2 scores of a game at either side from fisted efforts. Maybe it has happened before, I don't know. This is number 26, and 26 is Breed McMaw, and that effort has gone to the left and it's gone wide. So Claire Friel from Fannet Gales, they know all about the wind up in Fannet, way up in the north there. Maybe that's why they're called the Fannet Gales. Niamh Carr goes back to her goalkeeper. Second time of asking. Oh, there could be an interception here, and there is an interception. There's a chance for Kate McGrath, and surely a goal, and it is for Lauren McGregor, and that's a disaster at the back for Donegal. And down below me, the Waterford manager, Pat Sullivan, is delighted with the press, because they pressed there very, very well, and they got it 2 or 3 players in and walked it into the net. Lauren McGregor, 7-10 in 10 games before today this year, make that 8-10. Well, Donegal had been doing so well defensively, and they got back in the game, and that really has rocked them and given Waterford a huge lift. Nicole McLaughlin gives it inside to Niamh McLaughlin, no relation, not even from the same club. Nicole from Termon, Niamh from Moville. Oh, there's a great ball in, and it's Hegarty, also from Moville, and she's trying to get inside, and she has got through and got her shot away, and the referee is blowing actually for a free, and Hegarty not happy at all. In fact, he's looking, I wonder is he going to give a penalty here. He's going to talk to his umpires. Hegarty did brilliantly. I haven't seen her play as an out-and-out full forward. I got that wrong before the game, didn't expect that, but a great ball in. It was all about the ball into her, and then the way that she turned the full back, and maybe that's where they're missing Megan Dunford, the All-Star nominee, and it is indeed a penalty. I thought it might be, and she was just inside, and good refereeing again, and this is a chance for Donegal to hit back immediately. Now they don't have Karen Guthrie, they don't have Geraldine McLaughlin to take the penalty, and it looks like Niamh Hegarty is going to take the responsibility, and this coming after 9.5 minutes would get Donegal right back into the game. Delicious ball in, angled and low, and Niamh Hegarty did the rest. Won this penalty. So it's Niamh Hegarty for Donegal. 9.5 minutes gone. Can they respond to the goal at the other end? Beautifully placed in the corner. And Niamh Hegarty, well, she won the penalty and she dispatched it expertly as well. And Donegal right back in this game. The 23 TG4 Senior Championship has kicked off in style. 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. And there's me predicting low scoring, and they've both got goals already. Ball into Nicole McLaughlin. Gets it at the second time of asking and going through 2 or 3 players. Did really well there, but was just outnumbered in the end. It's Waterford's turn now to break. Emma Murray. Well, I said she might have to defend more, but she's spending a lot of time attacking. This is Annie Fitzgerald, the girl who will be playing in Cappamore tomorrow in the All-Ireland Camogie Championship. So 2 away games for her this weekend. Kellyanne Hogan is number 10. Sprays the ball out to the right. That's a good ball. Out to Anya O'Neill, who has scored Waterford's only point, and Fitzgerald involved again. And McGregor. McGregor scored 8 goals now this year. Won't have had an easier one than the one that she got a few minutes ago. And Donegal have turned that over, and they'll be delighted with that. Niamh McLaughlin The call comes from the sideline for Waterford to cover the middle. It's so tactical now, isn't it? Waterford already have 2 extra players inside their own 45, so they've 4 against 2 back there. But Susie White now comes looking for it and grabs it, and that's good play by her as they try to breach the Dacia rear guard, and that's the way to do it. Move it out wide to Roisin Rogers, but there's still a lot of Navy jerseys in there. 19 is Leisha Ryan, by the way. Haven't seen her on the ball much, but she is in there for Donegal today. And this is Amy Boyle-Carr. She's got Katie Dowds hugging the touchline on that far side, but here's a good break through the middle, and it's Susie White. Oh, she did so well there, but just didn't have the finish. The wind may have carried it a little bit, but she did well to break through, and that's the sort of run and angle you need to go at. And she did it perfectly, but just didn't have the finish. Now that kick out may be intercepted as well, and it has been by Tara Hegarty. Her sister's in the middle. Can she cause a little bit more damage? Gives it to Susie White, and now the other Hegarty. That's Neve. Nice little piece of passage of play there, the way they passed the ball around there, Donegal, but just didn't get their shot away in the end. They've got 1 point so far and 1 goal from the penalty. But it'll be hard to score at that end against that wind, which sort of picks up really strong and then dies, and it's died just at the moment. But Donegal will have that in the second half. This is Lauren McGregor. Lots of yellow jerseys around her. Forced to spin and come back out to Anya O'Neill, and she scored their only point, and that one's gone to the right and wide, so it remains the only point. Now, Claire Friel goes short to Tara Hegarty, and they try to make sure this time, of course. They were caught out before, but that's a good ball out to Abigail Temple Asoko, player of the match in the minor final a few weeks ago when they had a terrific success against Down. And she's playing a defensive role in there, and she'll learn the ropes from the likes of Emer Gallagher back there in attack. This is McLaughlin. And the referee did spot an infringement there, a little push. So this game really has a good championship feel to it, doesn't it? Group of 3, and whoever wins today will be in pole position to qualify for the quarterfinals. And they both have to play All-Ireland champions Meath after this, so if you can get a win out of this, you'll be in a terrific position. And that's put over expertly by Susie White for Donegal. Their second point. She made little of the wind there. Maybe it died a little bit there, but either way she judged it beautifully. She's been watched by the Killybegs kids just over to the right in their red jerseys. They'll be playing at half time. And this time the goalkeeper just pops it up the middle, but Roisin Rogers is on the break, and there's a chance here for Donegal through Katie Long from Glen Finn, and this is Niamh McLaughlin, the captain, gives it into Susie White. Is she going for point or goal? It looked for a moment there she was going to drop the shoulder and go for goal. She still has possession, has done well here to hold the ball up, and that's a really good play from her to give it back out to Niamh McLaughlin and back out to Rogers where it all started. Very interesting though that from the kick out they went long for once, Waterford, because of the Donegal press, and Donegal still won it. Their tails are up, and Amy Boyle-Carr has driven that one beautifully over the bar. ABC from Glenties, and that's 1-3 for Donegal, and this is turning into an excellent start and a great response by Donegal after they conceded a goal and playing into the wind after the first quarter. They must be delighted. Now the kick out has again been intercepted, and it's Niamh McLaughlin. The Donegal press is very, very effective, and that's a bang to the head, which the captain is indicating to the referee that hurt, and obviously it's a free, but there's also going to be a tick at least, just a tick for Aoife Murray, number 4. And Waterford having all sorts of problems with their kickouts. That's about 3 big ones that they've seen intercepted, and that's why the pressure is on them. They just can't get out. One big interception at the other end led to the Waterford goal. (1-3 to 1-1). And remember, about 6-7 minutes ago, it was 1-1 to Waterford and 1 point to Donegal. So Donegal have hit 1-2 without reply, and they have kept the pressure on up here as well. And I'm just looking down to our right. Maxie Curran, of course, is there, the manager, and beyond him to the right, he's got a few players warming up. Such a change in fortunes for Donegal from the National League, and they're just taking turns at warming up. This is Susie White. Goes short to Hegarty, and again her clever runs are just tormenting Waterford. Now the kick comes in the end and goes left, but yeah, Hegarty has been excellent in there at full forward. She is drawing the Waterford defence all over the place, even though she's up there on her own a lot. Now let's watch this press again, and again it is the Waterford goalkeeper having to go long, but Donegal have won most of these, and they're going to win it again because Emer Gallagher was quick to get the break ball. Donegal really having a lot of profit from the kickouts. 12 is Katie Dowds, but it's going to come back out. They have 3 or 4 players along the line here between the 45 and the middle of the field. So they spray it all the way out to Leisha Ryan. Lots of room out on the right, and she'll make a little bit of ground. And there is a ball inside if she plays it, and she does, to get it back as well. This is good, positive play from Donegal. They're very inventive, but on this occasion it breaks down, and it's a chance for Waterford to break. That's a nice ball as well, very cleverly angled as well to Kate McGrath, who's over on the left hand side here, wearing number 6 but in a left half forward position, and she now is trying to angle her way forward but runs into the Donegal players, annoyed with herself, but that decision is going to go the other way. And Waterford have had to make 4 changes today. Maybe that's upset them a little bit. And I know they have Meath at home in their next game. And, you know, if they don't get a result today, it'll all be down to that. But what a game that will be. Waterford will certainly welcome the All-Ireland champions to the Daisha. So 18 minutes gone. I'll mention again during this break, in case you didn't get it earlier, but you're very welcome to message me. You can't do it where you're watching the game on the in-player, but you can message me directly on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll get that if you feel the need. So I'm on Twitter at Jerome Quinn, and I'm also on Instagram at Jerome Quinn1, and I'll check those as we go on, so feel free to contact me there. So it's Donegal in a very good position into the strong wind. Sorry to repeat that so much, but it is so important here. This is Nicole McLaughlin doing brilliantly for Donegal to get the ball up to Niamh Carr, the 2 cornerbacks involved in the attack. I just feel a little bit of a spit of rain, but I'm told it's not going to rain anymore. Not until this evening, at least, in Donegal. That's good work back by Tara Hegarty, but she's penalised. It was just a hand come in on the arm. The referee, Shane Curley, makes a tick for that as well. Waterford's chance now, but Donegal working extremely hard to get so many players back. It's a tough challenge again, which Rogers takes. And it's Murray keeping possession. Kellyanne Hogan goes for it. That's going to swing just inside the post, beautifully measured. Thought she was looking to pass it across the field, but instead took the point and used the wind to very good advantage. And that's just what Waterford needed, back to a 1-point game. But it feels more than that because Donegal are playing into the strong wind. So Waterford, ideally, would want a good lead at half-time with that wind, you would imagine. But they don't have that. They're 1 point down. Maybe they should have a go rather from distance a little bit more. Get it to the shooters like this girl, Lauren McGregor. She didn't take it though. Little dummy solo instead, Kellyanne Hogan. And she runs into a Donegal player, and that's going to be a free out again. Just counting the Donegal players. There's 13. In fact, it might be 14 up there. No, 13 it is. Inside their own 45. As I say, they work very, very hard. That's the system that they play. And up in attack, they have Niamh Hegarty on the edge of the square still. And number 30, Susie White, just inside the 45. You often hear managers shouting at players to stay on the edge of the square, and they rarely do. They always seem to drift, but not Niamh Hegarty. The referee very unhappy, or the manager of Waterford very unhappy with the decision there of the referee. He's jumping up and down complaining about that, but it's Donegal who have the decision, and they are on the attack with Leisha Ryan. And again, great positioning by Niamh Hegarty, and then she always injects a little bit of pace. And look at that for brilliant play from Hegarty. They can't get near her, and she's ducking and diving in between them. She really is a really good target player in there, dare I say, in the style of a Geraldine McLaughlin, who is on the bench today. She's back for Donegal. Leisha Ryan playing into the wind, I have to say again, because it's coming right into my face. I can hear it in the microphone. Over carrying, free out for Waterford. 22 minutes gone. 1-3 to 1-2. A cagey affair, but very, very interesting to watch. Now Emma Murray, as Donegal drift back 4, 5, 6 players, just marking areas, not marking players. Anya O'Neill got the first score of the game. Lauren McGregor got the first goal of the game. And that's Osoko trying to get out there. And in fact, she did enough there. That's good play by the minor to just do enough to win that back and put off the forward, and it's Donegal who have possession again. And look where Niamh Hegarty is now. There's me saying she's staying on the edge of the square. And now she's come all the way back to the other end of the field. And that's Katie Heron. A good ball over the top. Well, I thought it was a good ball, but actually it's Karen McGrath, the captain of Waterford, who has nipped in there and stolen that back. And it's a chance for Waterford maybe to get an equaliser now. If they can get a little bit of room, but you see the yellow wall has been constructed there right across, just outside that sort of, well, between the D and the 45, that sort of area. Hogan gives it out, and now it's Murray. Now to Kate McGrath. She fancies it from distance. I think that's gone to the left, though, has it? Or she got it inside? No, it's just gone to the left. Good idea to have a shot from there with the wind, but just misjudged it slightly. Now let's look at this press from Waterford. They got a goal out of a press. But I see Tara Hegarty running, and she's not been followed, and she indeed gets the ball. So not a great press from Waterford there. In fact, Hegarty's been able to do that a few times. A little bit too easy, whereas Waterford have had a lot of trouble at the other end with their kickouts. This is Rogers for Donegal. Gives it into White. That's good play again. Giving it to Hegarty, and lovely ball from her into McLaughlin, and gives it back out. Good inventive, creative play from Waterford. White, though, is in trouble now, and she indeed ran down a cul-de-sac there when they couldn't quite keep the ball, when there were just so many Waterford players around. Eve Power for Waterford, and already the Donegal players have all drifted back. They're not even going to the ball, which is why Waterford have so much easy possession in this sort of area of the pitch. Now Carr is trying to stand up Hogan and makes her play it down into the corner, and she's isolated there. Look at the amount of yellow jerseys around her, but she does get her decision, does get her free. Donegal do not want to let her take it quickly, and it's going to be McGregor coming over to take it. I wonder, does she fancy it from there? The angle is not great, but she'll have the wind, and it might be worth trying it. Yeah, she looks like she fancies it. No, she's looking around to see who's going to come short for me. And just plays it across field, but that's going to go over the head of McGrath. Referee says no foul there, so Donegal have it, so that's a bit of a waste. And it's Nicole McLaughlin from Termon, steaming down the right-hand side. Nobody near her, and she's going to give it to Hegarty. Hegarty releases the ball so well, nice and quickly, and gives it in to Niamh McLaughlin from Maville, the captain. Player of the year last year, gives it back to her clubmate Hegarty. Back to Nicole McLaughlin again. Oh, and that's gone loose though, and Waterford will pinch it. They've got 4.5 minutes to do something about it in normal time at the end of the first half. They're a point down. Oh, and that just bounces over the head of Annie Fitzgerald and rolls all the way to Katie Heron, who says thank you very much. I'll take that all day long. She'll use her experience there and keep possession. Gives it to Rogers. Into the corner looking for Dowds, but Waterford turned that one over again. There's a real championship feel about this. I know it is championship, but there's just that feel that it's do or die, and teams are really at their maximum and they're giving everything. There's another over-carrying decision, and it's gone against Waterford this time. So Niamh Hegarty will take it. She's been my player of the first half for Donegal, whether right up in the full forward area or around the middle of the field. She set the tone for them. Niamh McLaughlin, the captain, now playing in that full forward area, so they've swapped positions. And Hegarty steaming through the middle, and as a challenge comes in on her, and what way is the referee giving it? Yeah, free it. Hegarty again, confirming my selection of her as best player in the first half. Every time she gets on the ball, she does something very important or influential. It was her burst of speed and determination there and anticipation to get on the ball and have the tenacity to go straight through and drew the foul. Susie White confirms the score and makes it 1-4 to 1-2, and Donegal ahead by 2. Feels a good bit more and could be a bit more given the conditions, but just the 2 on the scoreboard. Maybe the second half against the wind might suit Waterford's style actually. Donegal profiting again from the kick out, and very easily too for Rogers to pick it up. She won it cleanly and now gives it to White, but that kick is a little bit ambitious and drops short. McGrath for Waterford as they try to counter, but Donegal already have about 6 players inside their own half. Don't know how you beat that. Maybe it's just transition and kick the ball a little bit quicker, but that's easier said than done because all the Waterford players are back. Katie Heron is sitting in the full-back position, nobody near her, just marking that space. Emma Murray. Problem could be scoring enough today for Waterford. This is Murray ducking and diving and blowing for over-carrying, and that's the second or third time that has happened to Waterford, so it's very frustrating for the Daisha. But you've got to hand it to Donegal. Heron and Gallagher. A nice little pop pass there as well. Referee says play on, but he is going to hold it up because that looked a painful one, that coming together. But yeah, Waterford struggling here after a good start. They had the goal, but Donegal looked like a team who have carried the momentum from the Ulster final, and they really are in their groove. The question was whether they're going to keep it going, and they are. Just down below us here, Gus Chapman, the 4th official, standing in the middle of the field, and Pat Sullivan, the Waterford manager, just took the opportunity to have a little word with him, and I don't think he was complimenting the referee, let's put it like that. Katie Long gets it out to Tara Hegarty, into her sister Niamh. Now, the Moville machine, is she going to get a score as well at the end of the first half? What a performance it has been by Niamh Hegarty, rolling back the years with a little bit of help from her sister here, and they are finishing the half very strongly, 1-5 to 1-2, despite playing against the wind, and they deserve that. It's been a great half for Donegal. Kick out up the middle again, and I was going to say for once Waterford won it, but they didn't. It's Donegal who have scrapped for it and won it, and it's White. And this has gone loose to Katie Dowds with a chance, and she adds another score. And the youngster has put over their 6th point of the game, and that's a great return into a strong wind. And Donegal, going into added injury time, after added time at the end of the half, have stretched their lead. All of a sudden it seems to 4 points, and Waterford are in all sorts of bother. And they've a player injured as well. Is it the full-back? Is it the captain McGrath, I think possibly, who's down? And Waterford have only scored once since that goal they got early on in the game. And they look as if they don't have the answers. Just checking my messages on Instagram and on Twitter in case any of you need to send me a message. Nothing there just yet, but feel free to do that. Coming up to half time then, second minute of injury time, added time, and it goes to Rogers again. That's the third time at least it's gone straight to Rogers without even a challenge on her. And Donegal have turned over so many kickouts. That has been one of the key factors, and this has been the key player. I know it's a team effort, but she's been so good. Nicole McLaughlin slips it to Emer Gallagher, the Terman connection. And Donegal really playing with their tails up and really enjoying this, and they're stretching Waterford all over the field. Rogers to Hegarty. Hegarty always looks to do everything at pace. And there is a half-time whistle, just 1 minute and 55 seconds extra played, and what a half it's been for the home team. And they'll be glad of the rest because they've given a lot of effort in that first half, and it's been a very encouraging performance by the home team at the start of the championship. A really good start for them here in Donegal against a strong wind, it has to be said. And the crowd here are now going to be entertained by some under 10s and under 12s from Lifford, the home club, and from St Eunan's, and from the Burt club in North Donegal, better known for hurling, and from Killybegs, who are down below us wearing the red jerseys. So they are going to be out at half time where the players go in and try to analyse that first half, or be told by the analysts what it was about, and Waterford will try and come up with a different answer, but they've only averaged 10 points a game all year, and they're going to have to do better than that. Donegal have 9 on the board, so where can Waterford get the scores from in the second half? That is the question. And the other question is, will Donegal need to bring on Karen Guthrie, or indeed Geraldine McLaughlin, who is in the subs today in the squad for the first time this year? That is the question at half time. That's the St Eunan's girls out there in the black and amber. We're going to take a rest as well. We'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes for the start of the second half. One change for Donegal that I've spotted right at the start of the second half. That's Shannon McGroddy. She is wearing number 6, but she did not start. She is now in the team for Donegal. Don't know who she's in for actually, but I'll find that out in a second. She's gone into the forward area, even though she's wearing number 6. We have only one team out on the field, and that is Donegal. And that tells the story. Waterford are still in there. They've had a very long half time. And I'm sure they are very annoyed with that first half, and I'm sure their management have been laying down the law and they've been sorting out things there, because this is a crux of their championship, a watershed moment if you like, because they really, really need to get themselves back into this game. A very poor first half now. They've had to come all the way up from Waterford, but they had a good start with a point and a goal, and then it all fell apart. So what have they been able to do at half time? And there you see just in the distance the man coming through the gate is their manager, Pat Sullivan. So I'd say he has had his say, and now he's left the players to it and said it's up to you. So he was very unhappy with the first half. What will his team produce in the second? Gus Chapman, the fourth official, having a word with them to see if there's any changes from the first half. And by the way, if you want, I have put the penalty from the first half and the incident that led to the penalty up on the social media for ladies football, so you can go and watch that there. But I hope you'll stay with us for the whole of the second half, because we are looking forward to a very entertaining second half here to see if Waterford can respond and put out a marker for the rest of the championship, or will Donegal continue their good form from the first half. One change, I think I'm hearing the fourth official saying. I don't know if that's going to reach me, so I might have to work it out as we go on here. A lot of changes at the start, of course. There were 4 for Waterford from the team that we were given, and 2 for Donegal, and 1 addition to the subs, a certain Geraldine McLaughlin in the subs in the squad for Donegal for the first time this year. Now the referee is Shane Curley. He's about to get us started again. It's Donegal against Waterford. Donegal here in Lifford with home advantage, leading 1-6 to 1-2, and with a wind advantage in the second half, which sort of comes and goes. At the minute it's not there. What can Waterford do though that they didn't do in the first half? 27 is Eve Parr, 26 is Breed McMaw. They're wearing high numbers, but they both started the game, and you can see a little bit of intent there immediately, but they've had to come all the way back, and they might have just given that away. That ball is carried all the way to McGroddy, who has just come in at half time. So Waterford giving the ball away, and that's the problem when you try to play it out, and then that strong wind maybe carried it as well. And the next thing is Niamh Hegarty has it, the player of the match in the first half, and she does, well, I think she does brilliantly. It is a free in. Yeah, she did do brilliantly. You never quite know these days the way the hands go up, because sometimes it can go against the forward. But brilliant play once again by the target player. She had a supreme first half, and she started the second half in similar fashion, and more frustration for Waterford, because they looked like they had intent at the other end. Next thing they give it away, next thing it's a free, and next thing Susie White puts it over the bar, and it's a 5-point game. Just checking around the field to see who's not out there for Waterford or for Donegal. I'm still trying to check that, but I will get there. This is Emer Gallagher. Good battling though by Breed McMaw. That's brilliant work from her, and she gives it to Annie Fitzgerald in the bright orange boots. She gives it back inside to McMaw, but look at the Donegal players getting back there, all marking space in there. There's at least 4 of them there, not marking players at all, just making sure there's no way through. But Kellyanne Hogan trying to find a way through, and that decision has gone for Waterford. Now Kellyanne Hogan might fancy this herself, or will it be McGregor? Or will it be, yeah, McGregor's come over to take it. She took the frees mainly in the last game. They've had a few different free takers this year. Now this is just outside the D. It's a big ask from there, but Lauren has scored 8-10 in the championship, or rather the year so far in League and Championship, and she measures it nicely. The wind just wasn't there at that moment. She took advantage, and that is Waterford's first score of the second half, gets it back to a 4-point game. I'm intrigued to see what we're going to get from Waterford in this second half, but that's a poor press, I have to say. They are trying to press now, but they let Donegal get out there far too easily. Friel, the goalkeeper. A 1-2 with Niamh Carr. Now they're having to work hard, and this is what Waterford did in the first half to turn them over. In fact, they forced a over carry there, and that's good work by Waterford. That's a better press after the kick out. So they've got a point back, and they've got a free in, and you would imagine this should be easier than the last one if the wind doesn't pick up too much. Don't think this game is over yet, not by a long way. Hogan, she's actually put that to the left and wide. I said it was easier in the last one. She really didn't connect at all, McGregor. Rather, it's not Hogan. It was McGregor, and that's a poor effort, and they'll be very disappointed with that because of an easy opportunity, really, to get another one back. And there, Donegal getting out too easily again, but then the press goes in, and that's a good challenge there to try and stop them. But they get it to Rogers. McLaughlin, good pace from her to avoid 3 challenges there. So Waterford working hard, but victims of their own downfall, or architects, as they say, of their own downfall. I think that's the cliche they use. But basically, they've made a few poor mistakes themselves. How can you not, excuse me, put over a free at a vital time in the game there? It didn't even get to the crossbar level. She just obviously just didn't connect. Maybe it was a little bit of the wind, but you need to get those over a championship level. That's good work, though, by Kate McGrath. Stepping inside and just trying to wrong foot the Donegal defence. This good determined play by Fitzgerald, but she runs into trouble. Gives it back out to McMaw, and Donegal have a lot of players in there, and Rogers gets the block in, but the referee has spotted a tug on a jersey. And this is the 3rd free, is it, in a row for Waterford in a similar position. This one out to the right a little bit, and it is McGregor who's going to fancy it again. Maybe the last time she was just caught in 2 minds. Nobody going short for her, so it looks like she's going to have to try this in the wind, just picking up a little bit, so she has to put this towards the near post, and she's misjudged it. Tricky one for the free taker there, and that's 1 out of 3 from the frees in the second half for Waterford. Katie Heron playing in a very deep role there in defence and directing the play. They get it up as far as McGrady, and off she goes, and she gives it to Amy Boyle Carr, and she is in the fast lane, the overtaking lane, and the car leaves it off. No, she doesn't. She keeps going herself and finishes it to the net. Oh, it's as easy as that. ABC for Donegal. 5 minutes into the second half, and she may just have sealed the victory for the home team and put them in a great position in the group. Superb play bursting forward. She had Hegarty there, didn't need her. And that really is a serious blow to Waterford, trying to get back into the game. And it's 2-7 to 1-3 now, and that's 7 points in it now. Just as I was saying, this game wasn't over yet by a long way. Waterford now have a long way back. McMaw to Kellyanne Hogan. They really need something a little bit special now, and the way the game is going, Donegal are not going to allow that. They're so well set up. And that challenge coming in from Hegarty was illegal, says the referee, and that's the 4th free in a row, all from in a similar area. Oh, it's gone to the right again, and that's 3 out of 4 that have been missed, and you could tell she was a little bit exasperated herself after the kick. It's just so hard to judge, and the wind just making it very difficult. But 1 out of 4 at the start of the second half, well, the first 7 minutes. And Donegal transitioning really well. And Waterford having to press up, that's the problem for them, because Donegal can transition through them really quickly with that wind advantage. But this is good battling. But Nicole McLaughlin did well to hold possession and get it to Carr. She goes into overdrive again, so I better stop the car jokes now. This is Niamh Hegarty, and look, she spots number 12, Katie Dowd's away over on this side and tried to find her in loads and loads of room. It was a great idea, but just didn't come off. I said I'd try and figure out who went off for Donegal. I think it was Katie Long, number 11 for Donegal, who I don't see out there for the second half. And now, of course, I've just spotted her. So she is out there. So I was wrong on that one, but there is a change I can tell you. Katie Murray is now on for Waterford. And that means there's now the 4 Murray sisters are out there for them. So Katie was named to start but didn't, but is in there now for Waterford. As they try to find an angle here. The pattern has been that they've been fouled around this area and haven't penalised them with the free. So they're trying to create something, and there's a hand goes in again and yet another foul. So it's 5 frees at that end. All from a similar position. It is a case of thou shalt not pass, I think. Now Murray is coming on the field. So Katie Murray coming in for Waterford, as I mentioned a moment ago. And I think she's coming in for Eve Power, I think it is. Actually, it's not. It's Catherine Hines, number 14, who has come off. Now, it doesn't need to be said that this needs to go over, and it does go over, so that's better for Waterford and for Lauren McGregor. 1-4 now. Now Claire Friel for Donegal. Gives it everything. Angles it as well. I think it's going to go out though. Just goes out and avoids Carr. Anya O'Neill for Waterford will take it and gives it to Emma Murray. Gives it in to number 25, Eva Waring. This is Murray again. Hogan. Katie Murray is available. Hogan goes herself, trying to find a way through, but Donegal are well used to this system, and they just have a shape there that makes it so hard to penetrate. They've given away frees. They don't mind that so much, but you're not going to get through very often for much more than that. Katie Murray puts it down into the corner, and they try to keep it in, but they haven't. And the referee, I thought he might have called it back there, but he hasn't. So it's a kick out for Donegal. The last one she hit long, this one she angles towards Tara Hegarty, but 2 Waterford players converge on her and get it back, and it's Emma Murray, number 7, and in the end the kick comes in and it's gone over the bar as well from Kate McGrath. Girl from Kilrasanti Brickies makes it 2 in a row for Waterford, and boy did they need a couple of points there, and that's a good response from them, and they really pressed well on the kick out there, and they're now trying to really press really high, forcing the kick long. Similar kick to a minute ago when it went out. Can Roisin keep this in? She does brilliantly for Donegal. Gives it into White. Nicole McLaughlin has support there from long if she needs it. Free for Donegal. Another change for Donegal now, and it's Ciara McGarvey coming on. And she's coming on for Suzanne White. She gets a round of applause. Ciara McGarvey got the late goal in the Ulster final that sealed the victory over Armagh. So she comes in wearing 15, was named to start but didn't in the play. Now the other change at half time, I'm still trying to work it out. This is Haggerty. Feeds it back out. Long is there. And Heron. It's gone a little bit quiet. The home crowd very happy with the way things are going, but no need to make too much noise. I think it's Leisha Ryan I've just worked out who went off at half time. This is Niamh Hegarty on her right foot and goes for it despite being surrounded. It nearly curled in. I thought it might, it didn't, but you know what? She's still got a free. A challenge went in there, and the referee has brought it back, so they're going to get another chance, Donegal. In fact, McGarvey's coming over to take this. She's only in the play, but she's taking responsibility. No problem for Kira. Makes it 2-8 to 1-5. It's a 6-point game again. Now from the kick out, let's have a look at the Donegal press. Evelyn O'Brien goes high and looks for her centre half forward Annie Fitzgerald and finds her really well, but she immediately is engulfed by two Donegal players. And it is Tara Hegarty doing really well there to dispossess her and keep the ball in. Challenge comes in from Aoife Murray, but McGarvey has it now for Donegal. And Hegarty. They do well there under serious pressure. Donegal keeping good possession here. This is Niamh McLaughlin, the captain. And look at the way they stretch the play. This is good play. Hugging the touchline, and that's McGrady. Gives it into the captain again, and she goes for her own score and just misses. 14 minutes into the second half. The fizz has gone out of this game because Donegal have that 6-point lead. They'll be happy to keep it that way. So Waterford 16 minutes away from losing their first game, and then they will need a result against Meath, the All-Ireland champions. They will have home advantage for that game. So that could be a cracker. That really will be a do-or-die game for them. Unless they can get something out of this. That's a good kick out, finding Karen McGrath, the captain from Ballymacarbery for Waterford, but what can they do from here? Donegal players drifting back into position again to try and prevent a goal, and it's getting to that stage where Waterford are going to need a goal. Now, this is good work through the hands, but they just have so many players in front of them, and then they run into trouble literally, and that's going to be a free out for Donegal, and they are past masters at this kind of football. You can't see them losing a 6-point lead in the last 15 minutes as it is now. Goalkeeper Claire Friel gives it to Katie Heron, wearing 14 but playing more like a number 3. Emer Gallagher wearing 28, playing midfield, well, defensive midfield. Amy Boyle-Carr, her second goal, I think really put distance between the teams, and look at that, she's gone into overdrive, and that's when one of the Carr jokes is actually merited. But then she runs into trouble. She breaks down. Waterford turned that over. Now McMaw has a chance. A few players over as well. But then I'm spotting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Donegal players drifting back. And Rogers trying to put in the immediate challenge. This is Murray to Anya O'Neill. They got the first score of the game. Anya got it. And at that point you were thinking, will Waterford kick on? But since then, they've only scored 1-4. Free in for Waterford. And if there was one of those heat maps, you'd see that nearly all of the frees that have been conceded by Donegal have been in one little area. Obviously, the tactic is to not let them through, concede a free, rather than let them get through. They're not really blatant fouls either, but they are effective fouls. The wind just picking up again. to make it a little bit trickier. But they have missed, is it 3 in the second half? So a wise idea to go short. Try and get a little bit of room, but that's easier said than done. And the block came in from Nicole McLaughlin, and Rogers is there to pick up the pieces. It's easy to say if Waterford had taken their chances from frees, but the conditions really difficult. But if they had taken 2 or 3 of them, it would be obviously a very different game. Now they're getting yet another free in there. And Donegal just have so many players in there, and they just crowd you out. McGregor, she's sort of caught between the devil and the deep blue sea here, because do you go for the score and risk the wind making it look a little bit silly, or do you go short again? It's just outside that, or on the edge of the zone, you would imagine, and that's obviously quite deliberate from Donegal to concede out that way. She puts a dangerous one over, and the goalkeeper did well to get a hand to it. It could have ended up in the net quite easily, but Friel was brave and sharp and came out there to punch that away through a forest of bodies. And is that another foul? And it is indeed. That must be 8 or 9 fouls around that area around the D in the second half by Donegal. Two 8 plays 1-5. Still a 6-point game. They need this to go over to make it 5, and it goes over. And that's Lauren McGregor making it a 5-point game. Is their time. 11 minutes on the clock. Friel's kick out. It's a good one, although it just bounces over the head, rather fortunately for Katie Long. Otherwise, Waterford might have kept the pressure on, but that's enabling Donegal to breathe a little bit. This is Nicole McLaughlin with some strong play, just arming off her player. And actually, I thought she might have been penalised there, because you see that being given against the player on the ball who puts her arm out, but the decision was the other way, because there was an arm in there first, I think, going the other way. Niamh Carr gives it back to Emer Gallagher, who just spreads the play, but she didn't see the captain there, Karen McGrath, nipping in, because Karen has it. Chance here for Waterford. There's still a lot of Donegal players back there, but Anya O'Neill gives it to McMaw. If they can move it quickly, there's room inside here actually, and Fitzgerald was there, but it was well robbed and well robbed back. McMaw gets another chance, will go for her own score, and that's going to go to the left. It's not going to go out, it's going to stay in, but Friel again, nippy to get out there and see the danger and to clear it. Good work by the goalkeeper. Free for Donegal. They give it to Nicole, or rather Niamh McLaughlin. Instantly puts it into Haggerty. And look at the way she goes one way and then the other. She really is hard to mark, and she puts it over, and she has just broken Waterford hearts all day long, and she's done it again. After 5 or 6 minutes of pressure, they got the ball to McLaughlin, quickly into Haggerty. She does the rest. 6-point game again. Now O'Brien looking where to go with it. There is an option short. She'll go way over to her left to give it to Hogan. And they'll try to build once more. Challenge comes in from McLaughlin, but Waterford persist. There are 9 Donegal players ahead of her and the goalkeeper already. You just can't see a goal, never mind a goal chance. When Waterford try to go through, the wind sort of takes the shots as well, and they're getting a little bit optimistic, shall we say, with the shots, because that goes right and goes wide. So this game is really playing into Donegal's hands. They have the lead and they know how to protect the lead, and they know how to transition as well to get out when the other team has had to press forward. This is McGrawdy holding possession, does well. Tara Haggerty to Katie Long. McLaughlin holds it up for Gallagher. She will use all of her experience to eat up a little bit of ground, stretch the play. And McLaughlin goes into that challenge, and the referee indicates that that was fair. Now she has her head up here, and she was looking for Haggerty, but Waterford have a lot of players back there. Now they'll get it to Haggerty. That was Long just feeding the ball into the live wire full forward, and she draws a free. How many times has that happened in this game? She really is a handful for any defence. And just down to my right here, I'm spotting as we have a little bit of a hold up here, and it's Geraldine McLaughlin coming in now, number 29. I'm just seeing down to my right. I thought she was going to warm up, but instead it is Geraldine McLaughlin playing her first game for Donegal since last year's All-Ireland semi-final. Named in the panel today for the first time, and a manager there, Maxie Curran. Takes a look up and sees that the cameras are on Geraldine, of course. One of the legends of the game, not just in Donegal, but one of the top players ever to play the game. And great to see her back on the field for Donegal. And indeed, the announcement is greeted with a round of applause by Donegal supporters here in Lifford. And sadly enough, it looks like Niamh McLaughlin is having to come off. Change for Waterford. Sheena McGuckian, wearing 13, has come into the play for them. So 54 minutes gone, just 6 minutes of normal time left, and Kieran McGarvey here should make it a 7-point game, and that should be enough for Donegal, who have had an excellent day apart from the sight of Niamh McLaughlin coming off the field, their captain. She looks despondent. Hope that's nothing that will prevent her from playing the next day. McGarvey hits it high and hits it clean. 7-point game for Donegal, and this really has been the Donegal of old. They just need Guthrie to come on as well, but I think she may be kept in reserve for the next day. But after the dismal league campaign, it really has been a transformation. Strong press, but Waterford still come out. So Waterford, it's hard for them to get a point, never mind a goal, but I think they're going to need 2 goals. Can they get through? That's good determined play, but crowded out once more, and Donegal get it once more, and it's Carr to Rogers. They really have got that off to a tee, and that's how they beat Dublin twice last year. This is Sheena McGuckian, who's just come into the play for Waterford. Long, long journey, of course, for Waterford, and you imagine it'll be a very different story with home advantage against Meath. That is where they go from here. Hogan persisting for the Dacia. Murray to McMaw. She's got a good kick in her, but it's trying to get a kick away. She's having to force her way through 3 or 4 players. Murray gives it back to Kate McGrath. There is just no way through. Eventually it's a high one and it's a hopeful one, but actually the captain's in there, the fullback Karen McGrath, trying to win something in there, and they eventually get a 45 out of it. Well, the umpire has signalled, now the referee acknowledges that.
And they are in for America, number 12, Cara McCarthy.
Number 12, Cara McCarthy coming in for Waterford. And 22 for Donegal, that's Abby Murphy. There's a couple of late changes. Not too surprising to see Karen McGrath up there. Saw her score a goal in an All-Ireland club final a couple of years ago for St Jude's from Dublin, and they won it. She knows where the goal is, and they may as well throw her in there now and try and win a ball or two, but it's Donegal. They give it to Geraldine McLaughlin, her first touch since last year's All-Ireland semi-final. And now she leaves it off to Nicole McLaughlin, her sister, and the sister is trying to get forward, but it breaks down, and Waterford have it. There's a little bit of spit of rain in the air, I'm sad to say, because we were told it wouldn't be raining until maybe 6 o'clock, but it's come early here in Longford, so a little bit of rain. Annie Fitzgerald now for Waterford to Murray. Forced to go back yet again, and Hegarty trying to go back to catch them and to nip possession there that Donegal are so good at doing. And again, we come to the stalemate. They're just passing it around Waterford, and Donegal have their setup. No way through. Murray, pursued by 2-3 players, ready to dive on it. This is Annie Fitzgerald. Oh, and she may have got a little bit of room there. No. Just for a second, it looked like she might have managed to manufacture a little bit of room. Eventually, Hogan says, I'll just go from a point, and she gets it and puts it over. Well, it's welcome, but nowhere near enough, it has to be said. One and a half minutes of normal time, and it's a 6-point game. Pat Sullivan, the Waterford manager, calls for more, for one last charge, but Katie Heron holds possession well and gives it to her keeper, and they'll just keep possession. Heron using her experience. Hegarty with also using experience, but also using a lot of dynamism there. And that'll bounce over the head of Geraldine McLaughlin. And look who's there. It's Abigail Temple Osoko all the way back, or up from the back, and gives it to Geraldine, and she goes for her own score and just puts it to the left and puts it wide. But nearly the old master and the young defender creating a score there for Donegal. That would have been a nice moment. Last minute then of normal time. McMaw, and she's held. So Waterford will take this quickly. Now if they get a goal here, it could be fun. Kellyanne Hogan, and she's fouled by Hegarty. Referee will tick, but none of the ticks have amounted to sin binnings as yet. 20 seconds left of normal time. Waterford, it's now or never. They need something really special, but they're just passing it around. McMaw, though, looks like she fancies it and tries to drive through, but that kick is going to go disappointingly left and wide, and really it looks like Waterford's number is up and time is up. We've just gone into added time. Donegal have produced a very efficient performance. They're also calling for one late change in added time, and I think it'll be Sophie McFeely who'll come on. This is Abby Murphy. Or rather, Saskia Boyle. I've just realised I called out the wrong name for her earlier on. I looked down and saw Abby Murphy, but that was a Waterford player. Sorry, Saskia. It was Saskia Boyle who came on about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and that was her on the ball for Donegal. This is Karen McGrath. Back to McMaw, who seems to have had a lot of possession. Anya O'Neill. Heron comes out to meet her, and the referee had given advantage, but now brings it back for yet another free.
Number 21, Sophie McFeely, for number 12, Katie Dowds.
Katie Dowds comes off, Sophie McFeely goes on. And they're also going to throw on Jodie McFadden, number 23. And if I'm not mistaken, she would have played here the last time we streamed a game here in the Ulster Minor Championship. 22 is on for Waterford, and that is Abby Murphy.
Number 22, Abby Murphy, for number 25, Eva Warren.
Eva wearing the player to come off for Waterford. So a lot of changes in added time, but they're all pretty much academic. Now, has that gone over? It has indeed just gone inside the post from McGregor. Been a tricky afternoon for her from the freeze. Gets it back to a 5-point game. First half had 1 minute 55 or 56 seconds. We're at that point now. Friel goes high and long and angled, but it's intercepted, nicely taken as well by the number 13, Sheena McGuckian, showing a little bit of urgency there, and That's exactly what Waterford need right now. But can they get through? They've got possession back. Hogan gives it to Murray. They need swift hands. They need creativity. They need to get in behind. They need to try and unlock that defence. Or they go high and you never know. Oh, it might have dropped. It didn't for Karen McCarthy. And it just seems like a very frustrating afternoon for Waterford, trying to get through Donegal, and they just can't. Their goal came from an interception from a kick out, but other than that, they haven't been able to create anything in there. Friel gives it a good dig again up the middle, and it drops for Murray. Under pressure from Geraldine McLaughlin, but she comes away with it, and that's Aoife Murray, and she gets it back from McCarthy. Gives it now to another of the Murrays, and that's Emma, now McMaw, and she gets in behind there, and can they get through? Well, she's still there, Emma Murray. They feed it out to another of the Murrays, and that was Katie Murray, and it goes wide. They've kept going right to the end, Waterford, but they just don't have that cutting edge. They just don't produce enough scores. They've managed 1-8 today, which is about all they have managed all year. Their average throughout the league was 10 points. They got 11 today, but nowhere near enough against a Donegal team who have rolled back, not the years, but the year to last year. And they have put down a marker for the championship. They have Meath to come, but they are in a very strong position now, Donegal, to reach the quarterfinals with this win today. So a very efficient display from them to win by 2-10 to 1-8, and that would be my player of the match, Niamh Hegarty. Got the first goal from a penalty, or was it the second one? I can't remember now, but they got 2 goals, and she scored one from a penalty and won the penalty herself, and was just excellent in there at full forward. But more importantly for Donegal, they seem to have their mojo back after a really poor National League. They won the Ulster Championship, and they've carried on that form, and they look a threat now in the All-Ireland Championship. They're pretty sure to be in the quarterfinals, I would imagine, although there's a lot of football left in this group. And of course they've Geraldine McLaughlin back, and that'll be a plus. But Meath have to play these 2 teams. It'll be very interesting to see how it all pans out in the next few weeks. But Donegal will be delighted with this, and they didn't need to use Karen Guthrie, who has obviously got some kind of an injury. So they've been able to rest her today as well, and they've got Geraldine back, and they've got a good bit of confidence going there in the squad as well. They'll be buoyed by keeping the momentum going. They've won 2 games in a row now, and that's 3 out of the last 4, and a very, as I say, efficient performance by Maxi Curran's group. There was a serious mood change in winning the Ulster Championship, and they've carried that form into this game, and they have won here in Lifford, and they can go forward now with confidence. And as I said earlier, last year they got to the All-Ireland semi-final and the National League final, came very close to winning both. You can't rule them out this year. Whereas for Waterford, well, they weren't able to repeat the league victory here, and that's because this was a very different Donegal team, and Donegal squad as it is now, of course. And they, in that huddle, will now be thinking about what they can achieve in the next month or two, because just a month or 2 back after the league, they looked in a very dismal place, but they have turned it around. And I'm just looking to see who's talking in there. They'll all have their say. I think it's Maxi at the minute. And the only downside was their captain going off with a bit of an injury. Hopefully she's okay. But they have got their system going. They've got their team going. They've got their key players back as well. And they've got a victory here today in Lifford. So it's well done to Donegal. And that's where we're going to leave our live stream coverage from Lifford. We're on the road again. Tomorrow we'll be covering Louth against Leitrim on a live stream, so I hope you can join us for that as well. But for now, we hope you've enjoyed this game today. It's ended at victory for the home team. From the live stream team, it's goodbye.
What can happen in just 1 second? Winning goal. Winning save. Perfect tackle. Clever flick. Good call from the ref. Great shout from the line. The county title of the 30 years. A long way over. Just 1 second. It's a game of seconds. Glorious seconds. Genius in split seconds. By great players. Just 1 second. The difference between a good decision and a bad one. A lost temper, frustrated shout, that gut reaction. We've all done it, and we're never proud. But we can do better. We all can. Sideline, dressing room, meeting room, all places of passion where split-second decisions are made. Good ones, bad ones, some days not so calm ones. It's instinct, we know, because we love it. We just don't think. But we have to. Of others, of our players, of our game. Think before we act.
Take a second, catch your breath. Collect yourself, don't regret. Take a second to make the right call for ladies Gaelic football.